How you doing, guys? Professor EDC with another first impressions video, and in this case, yes, we are lucky enough to have this blade visiting us. It's none other than the Spyderco, the newest release from Spyderco, the Tuff. And well, you know, I do first impressions videos in English from time to time when I consider a blade to be out of the normal or special for some reason, or whether it's positive or negative. But I'm very selective as to what I review or give first impressions to in English, because there's just so many reviews out there, and so many good reviews, of course, out there, that I don't think it's all that necessary. But anyways, here we have a titanium and stainless steel liners, full titanium. This is not skeletonized, it's a full solid piece of titanium. The stainless steel liner is skeletonized a bit to reduce weight. G10 spacer, frame lock, a rather short frame lock, and crew wear blade with what was it? Titanium carbonitride coating to protect it from corrosion. This in particular is a gorgeous coating, in my opinion. But let's jump to some specs, shall we? Let's open up the screen so we can see. And here we have the knife, which is almost 9 inches, is 8 3/4 inches, a bit more. And the blade is 3 3/4 inches. Yeah, and the cutting edge is 3 inches. Rather odd numbers, right? Hardware is also dark. It's black, as well as the clip, which has a different finish to it. A very, very nice finish to it. Let's see if you can see that. And well, let's go to measure the thickness of the blade. It's a pretty thick boy, and it's 4 millimeters. Yeah, this is going to be like 150 thousandths. It is of an inch. There we go, 150 thousandths. And behind the edge, this seems like a pretty normal solid 30 thousandths. Let's see. This always moves. Let's see, right there. Some 20 thousandths behind the edge. Let's weight it. It's not a light boy, but it's very well balanced, and the weight just goes all over the blade. 6.4 ounces, 6.5 ounces. Let me see again. Yeah, 6.4 ounces, which is more or less, that should be more or less, let's see, an XM18. 5.4, 5.5, so it's an ounce difference between an XM18 and well, we're going to take that into consideration for the comparisons. We're going to do a lot of comparisons because I think that's one of the things that lets us know really the size and how well it's going to fit our hands, right? Let's start with the rats. One of my favorite budget EDC. Rat 2, the Rat 1. And an upper view. Check that out. And let's see if we're able to see there. Look at that. Can you see that thickness? It's awesome. Let's just go to the Benchmade bug out and the PM2. A bit more. There we go. As you can see, it's way bigger than the PM2, the Rat 1, which are full-size knives, and of course way bigger than the Bug Out and the Rat 2. Let's take that upper view, which a lot of people have liked. Tell me what you think. Here it is. It's a beast of a knife. And well, let's go to another Spyderco. The Shaman. How is it pronounced? Yeah, a lot of people have that thing of, well, it's a Latin word, so the pronunciation is shaman. There you go. The Shaman on a Bark River gunny. There, right there. It's still bigger, of course, than both of them. This should be interesting. The thickness right here with the gunny and the Shaman. And let's see. Check that out. It's about the thickness of the gunny. That's a lot to say. It's wonderful, isn't it? And I have some very interesting comparisons. I hope you bear with me. The Hinderer Eclipse and the XM18. As you can see, it's just a big boy and a fantastic one, if I should say. And I want to say a few things about it. Check that out. Let's go to thickness. Look at that. An odd design, right? We talk about odd designs, And I think, well, in my opinion, this is such an odd design of a knife, and yet such a good, good blade, such a good design. I may not agree with some things about it, but nonetheless, it's really such a good design. Let's put it against the Socom, Microtech Socom. Big, big boys. And the Red Horse Hellraiser. Big boys here. And as you can see, it's about the size, a bit smaller, just a tad, a tip smaller than the Socom. If we take out the glass breaker, it's almost the same size, as well as the Hellraiser, and the Hellraiser is a bit smaller, just a tip smaller. But anyways, and let's take a look at that upper view. Check that out. So, how does it handle? You know, this is a good example of reliable high performance on Spyderco. This is a well-made knife. Fit and finish, everything is just well done, really. It feels great in hand. Wherever you put your hand, it's going to feel comfortable. Really, I feel no hot spots. I've been holding this blade since yesterday. I wanted to film this yesterday, but I didn't find the adequate light, so I had to wait for morning. And the action is just smooth, really smooth. Opening, no problem. Closing, no problem. The weight on this is just like I mentioned, is very well balanced. You have a steel insert in the titanium, a pretty big insert, as you can see right there. So there's no stick at all, none whatsoever. It's just good all around. I like the clip, you know, that new finish, or at least I hadn't seen this finish. I think the Gail Bradley had it. And check out the pivot. It's a huge size pivot. And the stop pin also. Check that out. I hope you can see that. There you go. It reminded me of the stitch. And it also, in the way it carries and how it carries and the size of the blade, it reminded me of the stitch. The Microtech stitch, you know, you have a pretty big handle and a small blade in the stitch, a small edge, cutting edge. And this is like that, but it is a bigger knife by Ed Shemp's, is it? Yeah, Ed Shemp. And in a fantastic steel. I've been after Crewwear for such a long time, and I finally got it. And unfortunately, I was hoping I was going to be able to keep this knife, but as it stands, you know, being out with COVID for 7 weeks and barely getting back to work, I won't be able. And this is a collector's piece. Of course, it is for me, you know. I'm a collector and a user, and I would use the heck out of this thing. I would love to to talk to Ed Shemp about this design. That fuller, the angle of the plunge line is just, it's not a straight plunge line as you might think. Like in most knives, it has an angle, and it's just very odd. It's a contradictory knife, I must say, but at the same time, it's very dynamic. Has an organic flow to it. It feels smooth, and yet it's really stout. And I have to say, this knife in a moment where we are seeing many vanilla knives, this knife has identity. The Tuff has identity. And you might relate it to a toucan, the bird, a toucan, to a stitch, to a primitive tool. But man, this thing has ergos, and it has some engineer. You can feel it. You can feel that. It has engineering behind it. And as I've seen from Ed Schemp, he really goes out of his way thinking about, I don't know how to put it, but bodily engineer. He thinks about the way to use the wrist less and not hurt your wrist. He maximizes blade length. This is in his own words, and have a relaxed grip, as to not to depend on the wrist, but on larger muscles, on arm muscles and bones. And that talks to you about a well-engineered, well-designed knife. Not only that, but I think that Spyderco is hitting a very interesting and very important spot, which is bringing back old designs. This is something we've all asked companies like Zero Tolerance, where new models are not really all that what they are expected to be. And we have discontinued fantastic models from all brands, and I think it might be a moment in time in the knife community, in the knife world, where companies should really bring back and keep them for a while, because using these new steels, the older design had like something like craters or holes, which I didn't like. That was the only thing I didn't like about that knife. And it was in 3V. This is Crewwear. 3V is fantastic. I love that steel as well. But man, I've been after Crewwear for such a long time, and yeah, this one hurts to let it go, really. And it also it resembles a kukri, doesn't it, or a karambit. And it's even in that position, it's so comfortable. The only thing I don't like about the knife, it's the finger choil is too big. And so, yeah, you can position your finger, your hand, in a very comfortable way, but it's, have a common size big hand. For the US, here I have a large, extra large size hand. So I think this is just a bit too much, a centimeter or so. a bit less than a centimeter. How much is that for in inches? It's about half an inch. So perhaps a quarter of an inch less would have been perfect. But hey, that's the design. And like I said, this Tuff knife has personality, has identity, and it has a lot of good things going for it. The fuller is just fantastic, isn't it? It gives it a different, just a different vibe to it. It is a bit sharp in the spidey hole, but really nothing to worry about. I've had holes from other opening holes from other companies that have cut my finger, so those were really sharp. But this, though it's a bit sharp, it will not hurt anyone. At least this model that I'm holding in my hand. Love the knife. It is a bit expensive and even more to bring to Mexico. It's a bit $100 extra to get it here, shipping and taxes. So you're talking about $415, $430. And you know what? I did say it is a collector's piece, and I believe that. Forgot to mention you have that hole for your lanyard, and you a carry 4-position carry. So I think in this case, opposed to the Sleesh buoy, $400 for that, and to get it here $500 and something. I would bring it for the channel and to present that knife and what it means to the Spanish speaking community. But I do not think that is a $400, $500. That's in the range of an XM18, a Strider, a Zabenza, and that's not. But the Spyderco is bringing back old designs. That's a big home run, I think. And in this case, $315 US you're paying over there. Heck, it's a great deal for a great knife, a fantastic, different knife with personality. And it says a lot. It's a statement of engineering and design and imagination, creativity, I think. A combination of all of those. Anyways, I will stop there. It runs on phosphor bronze. And I'm going to stop there, because we're 23 minutes in, and I just had to. There was a lot to say about this knife, and I wanted to say everything I could. So there you have it, the Spyderco Tuff. I think they were still available, and well, if not, I think if you like big knives, tough knives, knives with identity, you're missing out on this one. Anyways, hope you enjoyed it. Leave your thoughts and in the comment section, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. Professor EDC out.